As you guys know, I love instant photography. I own a few cameras, and I want to show you some of my favorite ones in this video. Roll that intro.
You know the type of guy that was a jock in high school but ended up becoming a huge nerd? You know, someone that's not afraid to make a fool of themselves on the internet. And someone that likes to shoot Polaroid a little too much. Did I say huge nerd? You know, just an ordinary, everyday guy. Well, that's me. I'm just another Chris.
Welcome in today's video. I'm the guy that was definitely talking about himself in that really long intro. I'm Chris. But I want to show off some of my favorite cameras that I use almost on the daily. And I'll show you the one I use every single day. But before I get to that one, I want to show you some of my just favorite ones that I have that I need to start using more. But in no particular order, let's just start with these guys right here. Now you definitely recognize these guys. I've done videos about them, except for this one actually. I've never done a specific one for it, but I've definitely done ones on these. But let's start with the Lomo Instant Square. I really love this camera. It does a phenomenal job. I'm just going to show you some of the highlights of this camera. If you want to learn all like the ins and outs, full in-depth real world use of this camera, I'll leave a link in the description below for you to check it out. And if you want to pick one up for yourself, I'll also leave a link down below. But I recommend this one, especially if you are an Instax shooter, square and mini, because this actually shoots both. You can buy the version that comes with a special interchangeable back that allows you to shoot square or mini. It's got a glass lens, flash. It also has a remote that pops out so you can do long exposures, group shots. It's really cool. And when you fold it up, it's really compact. I've been using this for, like almost a year. And one of my concerns in the review of this video was this focus knob right here to adjust your distance. It's plastic. I was worried about it breaking off. I actually haven't had any problems with it. It's still there, going in and out of bags, no issues, but your results could differ from mine, but that was one of my concerns of the camera, but luckily, no issues. It has a flash override option. You can do double exposures. You've got really great features with this, and did I say it has a glass lens? So the photos you can get out of this is gonna be super sharp. Yeah, I highly recommend this camera. I've had some serious fun with this one. I've traveled around with it. I took it to New York, New Jersey, a bunch of East Coast locations last year, and it's been awesome. But as you guys know, I love Polaroid. I tend to lean more towards Polaroid than Fuji, but there is one camera that is very elusive. I've talked about it in many of my videos, and said I'm going to do a review on it soon, and I haven't yet, and I still need to, because it's one of my favorite Fuji cameras, if not the favorite Fuji camera, and that is the Instax Wide 200. Yes, I picked it up for like 20 bucks or something like that off eBay. This thing is phenomenal. I love it. It doesn't have a glass lens. It is plastic, but honestly, the photos I get out of it are pretty sharp. The vibrance that I can get out of it is really good too. Now it has an automatic flash, so it won't fire every single time, but you don't really got any much control over that. It just has a plus exposure, minus exposure, and that's pretty much it. No other bells and whistles. It just works, and I really like it. I would recommend getting this one over any of the newer ones, because essentially they're all the same camera, unless you're going into the Lomography cameras, which I did do a review of that wide camera that was sent to me by Lomography for review. That's a great camera too, but if you want to stay in the Fuji world, I'd get this one because you could pick it up for pretty cheap, and it's got the same bells and whistles as the newest one that, I mean, if you want to call it new, it's pretty old. But the latest one that Fuji's put out, they haven't put out a wide camera in years, but the 300 it is. This one is really good, highly recommend it. I love it. I've traveled the country with this thing. It's been everywhere, it's durable. Hundreds and hundreds of photos have been taken with this. I really like it. The only downside is it's pretty big, pretty chungus. So it takes up a good chunk of my camera bag, but in my opinion, it's worth it. Now let's go into the Polaroid. As you know, like I said, I love Polaroid. The Polaroid SLR 680, the Cadillac, the flagship camera, if you will, of SLR cameras that was made by Polaroid. It shoots 600 film natively, so no ND filters are required. It's got autofocus, it's got flash. It is awesome, but there's one huge downside to this camera, and that is the fact that, well, it's huge. Packing this thing sucks. I've done it. I've traveled the country with it as well. This and the Fuji camera were like my main two cameras that I would travel with. Actually, I would travel with 3 cameras, basically, because this one fits in a bag really, really nice. But the wide camera and this one is one I usually would go out with when I go out and shoot pretty much on the daily. And I got lucky with this find. This camera is really expensive. This is not in the best of shape. It needs some love. If you guys haven't seen the video of me picking this up, you know, I'll leave a link for you down below. But I got this for really cheap. Paid 20 bucks for this at an estate sale. Awesome find. I love this camera. It's worth, you know, $300-400 in really good condition, sometimes more. But it's really, it's kind of a cumbersome and delicate camera. It's not really meant for lots of travel unless you have a special case for it, and it's really frustrating. So I love this camera. I do recommend it if you got the cash and you want all the cool bells and whistles. This is still one of my favorite cameras. I still use it inside, like around my studio a lot, because it has the flash and autofocus. I can just quickly pop off some shots. I have a little shutter remote for it. It's super cool. I don't travel much with it anymore, and that is because I picked up something else fairly recently, and that's this guy, which is just another SLR sonar SX70 camera, right? Kind of. This is a converted camera. This has been converted to take 600 film natively. So no ND filters, you just pop it in and it will fire off your shots just like this guy would. And it's much more convenient. For traveling, it's still, you know, it's a little thinner. It's a little better, right? Now, if only this guy could fit in my pocket and shoot 600 film. You can actually do that. I'll get to that later. But I picked this up for a fraction of the cost of an SLR 680, and I freaking love this. You can buy these across the internet from various people. I got lucky, found it on a Facebook group. This camera is a metal, really nice. Oh, love it. Super durable, sonar, it's great, and it shoots 600 film. It's one of my favorite cameras that I've been shooting with since I've gotten it. I've been shooting this every single day. It has a frog tongue on it too, which I thought was going to be annoying to have stick out just right there. But it's actually pretty good. I haven't minded it. You can pick one of these up for a range of prices, for as low as $125, $150, up to $250, depending on what kind. Like, there's plastic versions, those are a little bit less. This is the metal one, so these tend to go for a little bit more money. But you can actually send in cameras to be converted, and that's what I'm actually going to do with this one. This is a full manual one, yeah, no autofocus, but the footprint of it is really, really small. You can fit this in coat pockets. I mean, relatively small. I mean, come on. But it's really nice, and this thing, when I got it, it was brand new, and it takes photos like, oh, so crisp and so clean. Oh, I love it, and I don't get to use it as much because it uses SX70 film. I have to put ND filters on my 600 film, but yet it still has a slow shutter speed. It's a slow film, and you still have to put it on a tripod if you're indoors. It's not great, so I don't use it that much anymore for that regards. But I'm actually going to send this in to be converted by, I'm thinking retrospect, in the coming months. And if I do, I'll make a video at least talking about it, maybe over on Patreon, just, you know, if you guys are interested in that. So you have that to look forward to, because I really, really want to start using this one again. It's in the intro of my channel, so if you see at the very end, this is the camera I'm using. I really love this camera, plus the look of it. I love the colors. It's so awesome, and it just sits on a shelf right now, and I don't like cameras that just sit. If you're into SLR cameras, then I would highly recommend looking into getting a converted 600 SLR. SX70 camera, or if you got the cash, maybe grab the SLR 680. If you're just starting out, I do have a video for you that you can check out that I did on my top picks for this year, cameras to buy if you're just getting started. I did a video last year about it, breaking things down into cameras that will help you guys get started. So if you want to see that, link in the description below. So these are just like basically my top 5 favorite cameras that I own and currently use. I mean, this one not so much, like I said, but I will be soon. Now you may notice there's no I-type or box cameras. I don't really use them that often, so I didn't really put them up here, but I want to do one honorable mention, and that is the Polaroid One Step Plus. Has some cool features, is pretty fun. I don't use it all the time. That's why I didn't throw it up here for this video. Maybe I'll do a follow-up video of my entire collection of cameras. Would you like to see that? Let me know in the comments below, and maybe, just maybe, I will make that. Oh, and if you guys want to join in on the exclusive, which I haven't even announced yet, that's coming probably this week as well. I need to make that announcement. But if you guys want to join in on the monthly exclusive print club, yeah, every month there's a new print. There's a link in the description below. I'm starting that this month. This month right here. The first one will be shipped out, and then one every month after that. Plus, you won't just get that. You'll get a ton of other cool things. Link is in the description if you're interested. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Now, get out there, make some art.